Hello everyone, I'm back again with another speed paint. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, it's been a whole year. Time really do be flying. Like, I've had plenty of videos like laying around. Like, I've been wanting to make a video for so long. I just haven't had the, not that I haven't had the time, it's more like I can't just jump up at any moment and just start recording commentary, you know, because I don't live by myself. So I have to like designate special times or like wait for a perfect opportunity when the house is quiet and nobody needs to talk to me, or, you know, no one's gonna chime in and interrupt me or come in and be like, who is you talking to? So yeah. Like right now, it's quiet in the house. I ain't got nobody in here, so I can just talk willy-nilly and be fine. But yeah, anyway, hello again. I missed y'all. Did y'all miss me? If you follow me on Twitter or like other social media, like, you haven't gone anywhere, girl. I know, but there are some people here who only follow me on YouTube. Like, this is their only gateway to me, and to that I say consider yourself lucky, because I feel like I am the funnest in small doses anyway. So you're probably best you only follow me on one site where you don't hear from me too much. But yeah, anyway, what you should be seeing before you is a speed paint of my OC Eden. He's a fairly new OC compared to other characters. Like, he willed himself into existence back in February of 2021. Yeah. But yeah, I was wanting to experiment with some different coloring techniques, and he's pretty easy to draw, so yeah, I'm using him for that. Yeah, so it's been a year, right? So you're like, oh, what have I been up to? Nothing, just the same old commissions, laying around, watching TV, trying to find the will to live. The phone is ringing and I know it's a telemarketer, so I'm not moving. Oh, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, doing nothing, commissions, same old. Yeah, I don't really do a lot. Like, I draw and that's it. My life is draw, watch TV, eat, play video games, go to sleep, be sad. Okay. It sounds pitiful, but it's not. It's fine. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm fine. Mostly. No, I am for real with yeah. There was something else I wanted to say, and I can't think of it. In case it wasn't obvious, you know, I don't have a script or anything when I do these. I just kind of turn on the mic and start rambling, so it's going to repeat information and a lot of other silly things going on here. But yeah, so I was just going to talk about the art, right? Okay, so I wanted to play with a new coloring style, because one of my biggest grievances I have with my art is that I do not have the ability to draw, like, I don't know how to draw like pretty pictures. Does that make sense? Like not just like pictures that people can find appealing, but not like, I just can't draw like pretty pictures. And I just realized I don't have the pop filter on, so I'm just sitting here saying all these P words, and it's picking up every last one of them. Oh my gosh, I gotta go and start over. I gotta go get it. Okay, so I went back and put the little pop filter thing back on, and mine is like a sock and a little thing I bought off of Amazon. So maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't. I'm not good at this. But like I was saying, yeah, I don't have a really pretty, like a designated pretty art style, if that makes sense. Like, how do I describe it? You know, like, I don't mean like my art isn't like, doesn't have like its own visual appeal, but it's like, I don't have one of those pretty, final looking, fancy, glossy art styles, like ones you would put like on the cover of your book, or like your manga or your visual novel game or whatever. Like, I don't have one of those styles, and it has bugged me forever. Like all I know how to do is like cell shade and then like add little extra flourishes to that cell shading. That's all I know how to do. So I've been like trying to find my own little fancy rendering style, but I don't really know how. Like I've been staring at all types of artists, just trying to find one. I call it the like when I say fully rendered, I mean like I know you can make like fully rendered pictures that's just cell shading, but what I'm really talking about is like I call it the Sugoi Moe Desu style, you know. Sugoi! Like that. Like the Sugoi Moe Desu style. You know, the ones you see like a lot of VTubers be drawn in. Like it's like glossy and smooth and like watery looking, but also crispy, and it has a lot of different looks to it, but like I want that, yo. And I just cannot grasp it for the life of me. So what you see me doing in this Speedpaint is trying some new techniques, but it's hard. Maybe someday I'll get it. Like I've done like little painterly type stuff before, but it just does not look as good as the stuff that I be looking at, and I'm like, mine aren't so hard. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna get it one day somehow. Aside from, you know, my normal stuff, for those who don't know, I started a webtoon. Well, really it's a webcomic, but I posted it on WEBTOONs because that's where all the people are. And I want my comic to be where the people are. So I posted it on WEBTOONs. I was trying to look into making my own little external website to post my comic to, but I haven't gotten to that yet. But yeah, I made a webtoon. It's called 23:4. It's based on the as in like Psalms 23:4. It's about no, it's about like angels, but not like it's about angels, specifically death angels, basically like doing Grim Reaper stuff, and they fight monsters, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna stop right there and I'm just gonna give you the proper plot. Not the proper plot, but I'm basically gonna try to sit and tell it to you. Okay, so it's about these death angels, and what they basically do is that they fight these monsters, and these monsters are basically humans who didn't cross over in time. If you've ever watched Bleach, it's pretty much like the same, not the same, but kind of like that. You know, you have the little people who don't cross over and they get corrupted and they turn into hollows. Well, it's kind of like that. It's a lot like that, actually. It's a lot like Bleach. But yeah, they turn into monsters and they have to fight them to turn them back to normal, to take them to heaven where they're supposed to be. But where the thing gets kind of, I don't know, where the main conflict is that there are more monsters than there are them. You know, like in Bleach, they had like the big soul society, and you had all these different soul reapers. Gosh, this really is just Bleach. You have all these soul reapers who were like, you know, they had their whole little kingdoms, a whole bunch of them. But in this, it's like there's only like, it used to be like that, but something happened and like killed most of them. So there's only like a handful of them now. Like Eden, Celestino, Lillian, Hiroki, Ivan, Amma, Dorothea. So it's 7 of them. But there are like hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of those monsters out there. So there literally is not enough of them to fight them all. So they're just kind of doing the best that they can to like meet their quota. Like they have to catch so many over a certain period of time, or like the big angels over them get in trouble, and it's just drama and fighting because you got like 2 characters who don't really want to do it, and then other characters who are like, I'm not gonna get into it, but anyway, if that sounds like something you might want to check out, I'll quite naturally put a link to it in the description. It's been a very interesting experience, like for those who may not know. Like I've tried making webcomics in the past and failed miserably every single time, and like this one is like going farther than any of my other attempts, so I'm kind of like cautiously optimistic, like, oh, I'm excited that I'm getting so far with this comic, but at the same time I'm like, I hope I can maintain it, or I hope the story doesn't turn out to be garbage to people, or just anxiety. Like this comic has been an emotional roller coaster, but I'm happy to be doing it. And Eden here, the character you see in this picture, is one of the little death angel kids. I'm trying to think of anything I can say about him without like saying too much, because I want you to go actually read the comic if you actually want to. But yeah, He's one. He's a younger one. Well, it's like you have like, I think in the story there's like, I think I wrote it. It's 4 like teenage ones, teenage little Reaper kids, and then 3 grown ones. So Eden is one of the 4 teenage ones, and he's the oldest of the teenage ones, and he kind of knows, like, as far as the other kids go, like, he's the most experienced, but at the same time you put him next to an adult and he's like freaking fragile and weak and pitiful, but like next to his fellow teenage Reapers, he's the strongest one. And he's also my son. I love him. He's my favorite. He's not my favorite. Yes, he is. I don't know why he's my favorite, but he is. I don't know why I like him. He's just special. He's special to me. I don't know why, and that's what bugs me. Like, I made him, like I said earlier, back in 2021 in February. Wasn't like, I just made him for the fun of it. Like, I wasn't even like thinking about making a comic, but like, I've had like this basic plot for a minute, but the characters that I originally made to be in it, I got rid of. So I was making this dude and I was like, I like his design, but what do I do with him? And it's like, I know I can put him in that one story I was working on, and I kind of tossed out into the back of my mind, and that's where he ended up. And then like, I was like, man, I really like drawing this dude, but I feel bad because I have so many characters who are way cooler looking and characters that people would much rather see me draw. So every time I draw this little
stale end piece of white bread,
when I have all these cool, beautiful, melanin enriched characters out there that people love, you know, like Alex and Jasmine and James, it's like, oh, I feel like I'm, you know, doing my followers a disservice by choosing to draw this arguably plain looking character. But it's like, he's like a comfort character. So I was having fun, and I was like, you know, if you put him in a comic, you'd have an excuse to draw him a whole lot, and no one could say nothing to you, because it's like, hey, he's a main character, so of course I'm gonna draw him a ton. So that's what I did. Like, it's like people might be like, oh, I wish she'd draw somebody besides that Eden character. And it's like, if it wasn't for Eden, you wouldn't have a webcomic to read right now. Not I low-key, like, dead grass made this comic. Well, started it. Like, that was like one of the main motivators. That and just boredom, because in one of my last videos I talked about like picking up random hobbies. Like, I talked about getting back into video editing or making just YouTube videos, and I talked about guitar, and I don't think I talked about sewing, but I got into sewing, and I was just trying to find things to occupy my time, because like I said before, you know, all I really do is draw and lay around and watch TV and be sad. So I'm like, I need something to do besides draw, lay down, watch TV, eat, and be sad. So I was like, a webcomic can be distracting. And it's like, yeah, webcomics are hecka distracting. I have been very busy ever since, and I guess I'm happy about that. But yeah, because like I said, having a comic has been like an emotional roller coaster, because like some days I'm like super happy, super excited, super just proud, and just, I did that, we're doing it, we've been wanting to do this since we were in high school, and we finally made it. And then there are other times when I'm just like, ugh, I'm tired, ain't nobody even reading this, I bet my story's stupid, I bet half of my readers done fell off by now, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm a clown, I'm getting on everybody's nerves. Every time I post a update, I'm like, oh man, I bet I'm getting on these people's nerves, spamming their inbox. They don't care about this comic. Who reads comics anymore? Because I sure don't. Like, I didn't start, like, Webtoons has been like big and popular for a while, but it just kind of snuck up behind me and started doing its thing, because like, I know it's been over in Korea for like ever, but like, I guess when like Webtoons started blowing up over here in like the States, I was like in college and not paying attention, because you know, when I got into, like, I used to read webcomics, but they were webcomics, you know, like stuff that artists were hosting on their own, you know, private sites, like Lackadaisy Cats, or like Ava's Demon, or don't judge me when I say this, but the Bleed Man comics. I was a child when I read those, so do not again judge me, because I know those comics do not exactly At least last time I checked, they did not exactly have the best. They not actually aged very well. But yeah, I used to love them. Didn't know what was happening in the story, but I loved the art and I was crazy about them. And I think with webtoons, when I started looking at them, like one thing that kind of confused me was like the vertical scrolling thing. So I was like, eh. And then everything's so small, so you can't really appreciate like the fine details in the art. But then again, with most of those comics, there aren't any fine details to appreciate because they're drawn in a way, because it's like the people drawing the comics know that the readers aren't going to be able to see a whole lot. So they just, the art tends to be really rough and simple. And it's like, this isn't as visually stimulating as, well, not really, because that's not really true, because I have seen some like webtoons, they shine more in their composition, like how they set up the panels as opposed to how they polish the panels. You know, like they'll hit like weird angles and make it look like the pages are twisting and turning, and I'm like, yeah, that's cool, that is cool. But for me, having grown up with like, you know, those indie web comics and like manga, I just could not latch onto it. And I still have not latched onto it, honestly. Like I said, only post there because that's where the people are. But I feel like I'm developing a newfound appreciation for them, because like I draw my comic in like regular print format and then I reformat it to go on webtoon. So I have to like take every panel apart and resize it and sometimes twist it around. And I'm like, ugh. I know the people who, I know there are other people on webtoons who do this, but I know there are a lot of people who just draw their comic in webtoon format, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted to have the freedom to post it anywhere I wanted to. But webcomics, webtoons, fun, stressful, frustrating, calming, all the emotions, emotional roller coaster. But it's been doing a very good job at keeping me distracted, so I can't even be mad at it. And going back to looking at this picture, I think one breakthrough I had, one thing I was really struggling with when it comes to like finding that pretty rendering painting style, that pretty sugoi moe desu thing, is like I always make my lines too, I don't know how to describe it, too clean or too solid. Because like I finally went back and started studying like the line works of some of the people who do like really good sugoi moe desu style art. Their line work is either like non-existent because it's a sketch, or they make it like really fine and like really choppy, so it's not like super neat or anything. So it ain't nothing for them to just draw on top of it and hide it. So I tried to apply that to this picture, and it works pretty well, I think. Well, it works way better than what I was doing, which was like I tried doing my regular line work, didn't work, too thick, too solid. Tried doing sketches, too messy. I ain't got the patience. And then I tried this, and it's like the way I do it is like it's still it's like half and half. It's half my regular line style and half sketching. So it's like I purposely leave blank spaces and try not to make things super neat, but also not so sloppy, so I can easily lay base colors. And so far it looks okay. And I've also discovered that like a lot of the time, because like I told you, I've been like staring at a lot of artists who draw in this, who have those pretty rendering styles, and like a lot of it is just the eyes, and I just did not notice that, because I'll see a style then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most beautiful coloring style I've ever seen. I want it. I want to study it. I want everything about it. And then I'll like cover the eyes of the character, and then I realize that like, hey, this coloring style is actually very simple. The appeal is just in the character's face. That's where all the details are. And after I discovered that, I'm like, maybe I should work on trying to make the eyes look better. I still got a long way to go, but I'm really happy with how this picture came out. I probably won't feel that way in like a couple days, but I'm happy right now. So yeah, I think, let me look. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I've talked long enough for this video. So if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a comment, any type of comment. Just hi Tara, missed you. You know, feed the algorithm. I would like to have like a YouTube channel that could kind of not compete with I don't have many social media places to exist on where there's like people. That's a lie. Because like Twitter is my biggest place where I have followers at, and it's like I don't really like Twitter being my biggest platform, because Twitter is very, I don't know. Twitter is like Tumblr part 2, so I feel kind of scared just kind of existing on there now. Like I come in, I post art and leave. I also have Instagram, which is I don't mind it, but the pictures are so tiny. I don't know, just YouTube seems like it'd be a fun place to have more people who like support you on, because like I watch a lot of YouTube, and it looks fun when you're like the right size. You're not too big and you're not too small. It's like YouTube looks like a lot of fun. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, all that good stuff. I have some other videos recorded. I just have to talk over them. So here's to hoping I have some more content for you in the near future. But yeah, that's all. Talk to you later. Be blessed.